Polo, Sandoval. You spent a lot of time on that border between Mexico and the United States covering this story. There are a lot of rumors fueling this influx, if you will, and it's so heartbreaking to see these kids coming in without their parents, but smugglers bringing them into the United States.
It seems to be the consensus down there in the valley. I just spoke to a source down there not too long ago, Larry Diablo. He manages basically one of the several constable departments there that I have to pull double duty now, essentially not only pulling the regular responsibilities, but now filling the role as Border Patrol agents from time to time. And he tells us that that seems to be what everybody believes, is that this rumor is spreading like wildfire.
Now, what is the rumor that's
Which is, if you go now, you would essentially be granted free passage to wherever your family may be up north, whether it's East Coast or West Coast or simply northern states, and that's not only in Mexico but also in Central America. In fact, many of the folks that are being apprehended on the border are OTMs, other than Mexicans, and now really at one point when I worked down there in the border, you had to seek out these individuals if you wanted to tell their stories. The undocumented people now, all you basically have to do is stand out there. These people are now running towards law enforcement instead of away.
It's heartbreaking, especially when you see the little kids who are coming across by not just the hundreds, but by the thousands. Their parents sending them under this rumor that if they come to the United States now, they'll be able to stay.
Yeah, some of these kids younger than 5 years old, Wolf, and they're coming in groups, and what's happening from my understanding and talking to sources is that essentially these smugglers are making money off of them, telling their families that, look, this is the year of immigration reform in the U.S., you have to go in now, the window is closing or else you're never going to be able to get into the U.S. So that's why you're seeing this, but we've been pressing administration officials, Wolf, for numbers. How many of these undocumented children are coming to the border, to the Rio Grande border, and we've been pushing them, and they're simply not releasing those numbers right now, but I think that could really tell a big story.
So there's one estimate I read, Polo, and you know this better than I do, it's 60,000 unaccompanied children might come into the United States?
You look at the numbers, there are about 1,300 people a day that are being detained in the McAllen, Texas sector, which is about 4 hours south of San Antonio. And it really is one of the busiest Border Patrol stations in the entire country right now. And about a third of those are undocumented children. And it's really children that are coming here to meet up with their families, with their parents. Others are coming with their parents. In fact, many of those children that come with their mothers stand a higher chance of being released, eventually ending up.
And they're not coming necessarily, they're coming through Mexico, but they're coming, as you point out, from other Central American countries.
And there lies one of the biggest problems, is processing those people from Guatemala, people from Honduras. It takes a longer, it's really a longer period. What to do with so many people? You simply can't house them in those cells, as you just saw in Pan's piece. And so now it becomes a bigger issue, is getting these people through the process, getting them through the red tape. And essentially the folks from Mexico can get deported within 24 hours. However, it's the people from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala that actually have to be released even sooner than that.
The highest ranking officials, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, they're all over this right now. They're deeply worried about what's going on.
These agencies, I mean, it really is a crisis. And speaking to one law enforcement source, there is a lot of concern right now among these agencies that the facilities are just overwhelmed with these undocumented children and with these undocumented families. And the question is, what are they going to do with all of them? In fact, by law, there's a 72-hour window, Wolf, whereby Border Patrol has to transfer the undocumented children elsewhere to a facility for long-term housing, and they haven't been able to meet that requirement. In fact, today administration officials say, look, we haven't succeeded with that because there's just been this influx of so many people that they just weren't equipped to handle.
What do you do with these kids? That's the heartbreaking part. All right, Polo, we got to go.
Question, who pays for it all?
Yeah, and obviously it's not cheap either. Polo Sandoval, thanks very much. Pamela Brown, thanks to you. New information about